report. Overall, the retaining wall out here on the front side of the property is in really good shape. You do have a few small sections where there is some standard settling cracking there. I did make a notation and a recommendation just to have any areas that you see like that, you want to get them sealed up, just because we do get a lot of water here in the wintertime in Hawaii. There's a lot of rain, and concrete surfaces like this can end up taking on excessive water if those sections aren't sealed up. As far as the structural integrity of the systems go, they're in really good shape. There is no indicators anywhere that we have any issues as far as that's concerned. Now, one other thing you guys will see notated on the report, just to give you background, the roofing system that you guys are utilizing is what is considered a concrete standover shingle system. So these systems have a standardized rating in America of about 50 to 100 years. That standard is being set by the mainland, and they are accounting for snow and ice loads, shortening the lifespan of the roof. Now, here in Hawaii, we don't have any snow and ice, so we do tend to see these roofing systems last a lot longer. With the roofing system of your guys' nature, with preventive maintenance, you should see this roof last you easily another 50 to 70 years. Now, there's no indicators anywhere on the interior of the property that the roofing system has been compromised as far as water intrusion or issues with the interior structure. So again, as long as preventive maintenance is kept up, you should see this roof probably outlast the amount of time that you will live in this house. And then we can head on up this way.
All right.
So structure and siding of the exterior of the property is in really good shape. We didn't find any structural deficiencies around the property. There is some minor cosmetic damage, which is one thing you guys will not see show up on your report. So I do cover everything regarding any kind of issues that is within the functional and mechanical systems of the home. Anything that affects structure, plumbing, or electrical, we do cover those issues. However, we do not include any cosmetic damage. So like I was saying, you do have a few stains, some minor sections where there's little scratches and things like that on the stucco, but there's no structural deficiencies as far as caved in sections. We don't have any missing stucco anywhere, and there was no issues with any of the exterior structure of the property. One thing you guys will see notated on the report, we have a large retaining wall back here on the back side of the house near the hillside. Retaining wall overall is in really good shape. There's no bulging, there's no excessive leaning, and there's no heavy broken sections off of it. What I did notate is that it doesn't appear to have any weep holes installed anywhere in the wall. While this is not necessarily required, it can help extend the life of the actual retaining wall itself and make it functional for a longer period of time. So again, that's something that you guys can address if you feel the need to. It's not necessarily required, but it is a recommendation that's made by most contractors to have at least a few weep holes on the exterior retaining walls of the property. Now right over here, we are going to be moving to what is your guys' main electrical connection from the city. So right here, you guys are on an underground service lateral. So basically what that means is you guys are just being serviced via an underground connection, which I'm sure you guys are familiar with in the mainland. The property is rated at 200 amps, so you are drawing the maximum for this from the city side for a residential property. So you can't necessarily go up anymore as far as a residential property is concerned. So with that being said, you guys should not have any issues with anything that you decide to install in the home, be it Tesla batteries, any sort of secondary function electronics. Everything should be good. 200 amps is plenty of juice for a modern house, especially a house of this size. Now you can see along as we come back here, one of the things that I did notate on this back side of the house is as we look along this back section of the roofing system up here, there is a couple sets of branches that do overhang the roofing section of the home. One of the reasons why there's a recommendation for this is most homes, we recommend keeping any tree branches or overhanging sections of any kind of vegetation away from the roofline system. One, It helps to prevent any possible wind damage if there's a high wind storm from branches necessarily crashing into the roof line. And also it keeps pests and other creatures from having any sort of bridge onto the roofing system of your house. Kind of just keeping the vegetation away. Again, this is just a suggestion. It's not something you're required to do. I'm just giving you what all the current standards for these home systems are. All right.
We're doing the video now.
Okay, so
It's recording.
right out here on the exterior balcony area, you guys are also in good shape again. We have a nice grade to the exterior of the property. There's no indications of ponding or pulling on the decking material. And I did go around testing the actual rail system all the way around. Your spindle width is within condition and the actual structure is in good shape. Obviously it will need to be maintained over the years because it is a wood system, but as far as structural rigidity right now, it's all good to go everywhere. We didn't have any issues as far as the safety concerns for spindle width or height of the railing itself. So you guys got one more major system in here. You do have two Hearthstone masonry style flue vented fireplaces that extend from your lower living area up into the master bedroom area. Now, there's no indicators of any issues with the actual system structurally or with the flue venting system itself. What you guys are going to see notated on the report is that anytime I see a system like this that looks like it has not been used recently, and obviously we don't have a whole lot of need for these here in Hawaii for most of the year, I do recommend having a flue vent or a chimney specialist come out to check out the system. Mainly just because with these kind of systems, when they do sit idle, they can have some functions and some parts that are problematic that are outside of the scope of my personal inspection. So if you do plan to use the fireplace on a regular basis, I do recommend getting a chimney specialist to come out, give it a once over, clean the flue venting system, and also check out all your hood and draft inductors. Now, throughout the entirety of the property, you guys are equipped with all vinyl framed, double pane, argon gas blocked tab locking windows. All the windows throughout the property were in really good shape. Everything was functional. All the locking mechanisms and systems throughout the property were all working. Now right into here, this section in here is where you guys are housing your washer dryer system, which you will see some shots of on the report itself. I do test all the functionality of these appliance systems throughout the property. And then right here are our two distribution panels. So you guys are equipped with two different distribution panels. They are legended and they do show throughout the entirety of the house all your distribution properties. So copper distribution wiring throughout the entirety of the property. Everything is non-metallic cable Romex, which is the current standard, and everything was functional everywhere that I tested. One of the other things you guys are going to see notated on the report is all of these appliances in here. So I did test everything for functionality. Like I said, you folks are going to see some pictures on the report that include some thermal imaging, some thermal camera imaging. Basically, it just shows you guys some shots of everything that's in the home and how they all function, how they all work, and basically that they're within the standards as far as temperature is concerned. Now, everything throughout the house was tested, including all the plumbing fixtures and all of the features for the water. So before we wrap up, what I do want to let you guys know is that here in Hawaii, We have a lot of hard water. So I did test all your plumbing systems in the house, and underneath each sink we have 2 valves, one hot, one cold. Behind each toilet we've got 1 cold valve. These valves, when they're not moved and used on a regular basis, tend to get a calcium buildup on the backside that can cause locks or leaks in the future. Here in Hawaii, like I said, we do have a very high calcium count, so that will tend to happen if the valves aren't turned at least semi-regularly. In my experience, once a year annually is usually enough. So what I do recommend is when you guys take ownership of the house, either yourselves or whoever your property manager is going to be, have them come out and turn the valves at least once a year. Just turn them off, turn them back on. It's basically just going to prevent any valves from sealing up on you, and also keep them from having leaks from torn interior components. Now, like I said, we're basically just covering the major issues within this report. Just to give you guys kind of a scope, you are going to get about a 25-page report from me later tonight. Overall, the house is in really good shape. The issues that I did find within the property are mainly just what I would consider wear and tear concerns, things that are basically just affecting the house from you guys not being the first owners. As far as major structural, major plumbing, or major electrical issues, we didn't have any, and all of those areas were in really good standing and functional condition. Again, like I said, if you guys have any questions, you guys can always reach out to me, and I can run you through anything that you guys might be concerned or worried about. Thanks again. My name is Kaulana.